Hi, welcome to my stairwell. I got this really cute romper, jumper kind of thing, and I like it a lot, but as you can see it's super baggy, and I know I'm just going to be readjusting it all the time, and it's going to make me feel uncomfortable. And if just in case our body language reinforces how we actually feel about things, I don't want to be feeling uncomfortable all the time. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to solve the problem and fix this baggy neckline. So obviously I had to take the jumpsuit off. So I found the spot where the neckline gets sewed up together, and I'm going to undo the stitches there. I keep this handy toolkit because I'm always working on little projects. So I'm going to take my seam ripper and I'm going to open up that stitch. Being super careful just to cut the threads and not any of the actual fabric, right? Okay, I keep lots of supplies around my house, like scraps of elastics, and I don't really throw much out, partly because I never know when I'm going to need it, and I just really hate being wasteful. So you'd be, I mean, if you don't have a lot of space, you can't keep everything, but you'd be surprised what you can make do with when all of a sudden you wish you had this, that, or the other thing. Okay, so I opened up that stitch, and I have this piece of elastic which I already measured around my shoulders, where if it's a little bit stretched, it feels like it's just comfortable right around there. Sorry, I keep forgetting where I'm supposed to be looking. All right, and then I have this handy tool. You may not have one of these at home, but sometimes you can just take something like a shoelace that has a rigid end and tie your thing to it. So basically I'm just gonna tie this onto the end of this tool. This is for, you know, when your waistbands come undone, and if you have pants with waistbands or hoodies, you can fix those. So then you just run it through that channel. So I'm going to stick that through there. Keep shifting it along until you get the tool all the way through the loop, and then you have to, you know, carry it along. Just want to make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Where am I? Where's the end? Okay, there. So now it's come out that other hole, and then I can pull until I want to keep that. Oh, so you have to make sure it's actually going into that hole. So now it's inside, and I can pull it through, and I want to make sure the elastic is running through there pretty flat. But I'm going to pull that through. Sometimes your attachment comes undone on the inside of stuff, which is a really big hassle, but you know, there's always a way to fix your problem. That's kind of what I'm about. So I gotta undo that knot, and now I've detached my tool. I have two loose ends. I want to make sure that they don't slide back in there while I'm working on them. So I'm gonna find my ends together. I'm gonna put them together flat. And I'm gonna pin them. Pins. Okay, that just holds that for now. And then I'm going to make sure that it's lying, sort of stretch it out a little bit, even out that bunching up. Make sure the elastic is pretty flat so it's not twisted when I sew the two ends together. Make sure it's good all the way along. So I just happened to have a piece of elastic that was the right dimension to fit within that channel. Some of these supplies you might need to plan in advance and get them. But it's cheaper than buying a new outfit, so there. Okay, that's flat and nice around there. So then what I need to do is just I'm going to hand stitch the ends of that elastic together. So of course I'm going to need a needle, and I'm going to need some thread. The color won't matter because it's going to be entirely hidden on the inside, but you will need a matching thread when you close up the hole there. So anyways, looks like I have to find myself some thread. Okay, so tying a knot in my thread here, tying a knot, double knot at the other end, if you don't know how to do this already. I'm probably not doing a very good job of teaching that. Anyways, so now I've got my doubled over piece of elastic, and I'm gonna stitch it up solidly, but it doesn't need to be super reinforced. Oh man, I'm gonna have to speed this up. Okay, that's probably good enough. I'm going to stitch down the ends of it so it's not going to get turned over or be super bunchy. And at the other end of the elastic too. So I just have always been kind of, you know, I accumulate stuff for projects and sometimes I never get around to them, but it means I've always got supplies around. And maybe you're not like that, but it certainly comes in handy when you have the thing you need when you want it. And also it teaches me to be resourceful, because sometimes I just make do with what I already have. So it gives me an opportunity to come up with new ways to use things. So I've knotted that up. Pretty confident it's not going to come apart. Snip that. I'm going to need to put a new piece of thread on it to close up that hole again. I'll just stick my needle in my little felted ball for now. Okay, so now I'm going to slide the elastic inside of the shirt. And I don't want that sort of thicker bunchy bit at the top of the or at the front of the shirt, and I don't want it at that hole because it's going to make it more complicated when I'm trying to sew it shut. So I'm just going to pull this along so that it moves it to a different spot. So now I have the elastic in there and I need to close back up that opening that I made. So all this fuzzy stuff that came out, I need to stuff that back in there. I don't want it on the outside. Now I want to make this as invisible as possible. So the fabric was a little bit turned under, of course. So one side, this is a little bit turned under, and then that's going to go over top of the other one. So it's like stuffing one inside the other. I don't know how clearly you can see it, but hopefully you will understand what I mean anyways. Let's see, how does it look from the front? Okay, so I need to stuff some more of that material in there. So that's, I'm not even looking in the right place. I need to learn how to do that. That's what I've got there. There's that little open stitch there. But I'm gonna stitch from the outside, just trying to make it look super clean. Anyways, I'm gonna tuck as many of those loose things in there as I can. And I'm gonna stitch that up. And when I bought it online, so of course they had pictures, and of course the model wasn't wearing a bra, but given how gapey it was, it's not likely I'm ever gonna at least leave the house in that. So, gotta find a solution to my problem. And hopefully this is it. Oh, I've stitched that closed. I'm gonna knot it up in the back here. Good, nice and tight. Snip it. Stick my needle back in my felt ball, put my pins away, and let's try this thing on, see how it looks. By we, I meant me, because you're not actually here and we can't all fit in my jumpsuit anyways. Right. Holy shit, people. That's like, that worked out super well. See, you know, I can do all kinds of things. It's not going anywhere. That's where I need to look, right? That's where I need to look. There. I also keep scraps of thread. Do you really want to see me do this whole thing? If only I could thread a needle. Oh, please do it. Hooray! What do you want to talk about? I don't know. What do you want to talk about? And because I'm a bit of a dork. It's okay. I actually did end up turning my elastic around, I could tell, because it's twisted. I couldn't find my seam ripper, and it just magically... I found it in the pocket. I don't even know how it got there. But, you know, what better place to keep your seam ripper than in your pocket?